a basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones, oh baby, ooh wee ooh.
Man, what's up? What's happening? You already know who it is. It's your boy Q Walker, aka Nephew Q, with my boy KJ. And we back. We got some new digs this season for season 2 of our NBA Weekly Recap Show. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to wait for the season to kick off a little bit before we get into everything. I'm pretty sure Keezy got a lot of, he want to get into. He wants to, talk about how great LeBron has been all season long, right?
Nope. I want to talk about how he's been pushing off and the refs ain't been calling it, but I'm not gonna say all that though because people say I'm being petty and all that. But anyways, go ahead.
That's neither here nor there at this
Correct.
point. Because like I told you before the show started, he's allowed to create space. He's allowed to create space. It just so happens that he's just so big that people bounce off of him, and it looks like he's
his
pushing
arm is just out like that a lot.
Special effects on TV.
See, because he's getting a little bit older, he can't get around defenders as easy. So it looks like he's been doing a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? To create that space you was talking about, which he's allowed to do somehow. Anyways.
When you the GOAT, you can get away with things.
Yeah.
GOAT do what GOAT things do.
Nah.
Yeah. We come 18 seasons in this thing. We're going to go 5 for 11. But that's neither here nor there. Before we get to the GOAT.
Is that good? 5 for 11?
5 for 11 is better than none for none.
I mean,
matter of fact,
my guy perfect. Anyways, so he's 6 for 6. Anyway, though, it's a new season. You know what I'm saying? That's old news.
That's old news.
That's back here in the past.
That don't mean shit though, man. That don't mean. But we're not gonna do that today.
No, we're
gonna do that today, man. Let's kick it off with the free agency, man. Let's talk about some fresh faces in new places. Let's start off, man. Let's see who we got here. We got my guy, your guy, CP3, who is now with the Phoenix Suns. They're there with he's overrated?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that in a second.
Ahead,
He's down there with DeAndre Ayton, that light
my guy Devin Booker.
He ain't gonna be there too much
Fresh
longer.
Killer, nah, he's out of there.
He ain't gonna be there too much longer, anyways, either. So, man, what you think about Chris Paul being down there in Phoenix?
I mean, I think it's a good move. It'd be similar to what they did at OKC last year, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, they might get to 6 seed, 7 seed, something like that. But
at the beginning of the season, they had the best record in the West. Beginning like the first couple weeks of the season.
Yeah.
They did
First couple weeks
of the season they had. But man, I'm like you. I'm really interested to see what he can do with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. I just hate that this took place so late in Chris Paul's career, where he's able to play with 2 caliber players like that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? A guy who can space the floor in Devin Booker. When you have a point guard like Chris Paul, that's all you ask for is a guy who can create space.
Yeah, Devin Booker's definitely gonna get buckets.
So as a natural born point guard, think about it like this, and I hate bringing this back up. LeBron, he what does he always need? Shooters.
Yes.
Perfect for Chris Paul. He needs shooters, but like I said, it's just too late in his career. And then if all else fails, dump it down there to DeAndre Ayton. Let him do what he do.
Let him get buckets.
Let him do what he do. So you said well, we'll get to the season outlook a little bit later on. But anyway, we got another fresh face in the new place. This is my guy, Montrez, the Monster Hurl, who signs with my LA Lakers.
So this one surprised me, and I'm sure the rest of the world more than
anybody.
Yeah. Because I thought he was gonna get a contract and get some real money out there.
Mm-hmm.
What did he get? 2 years, 19 million or something like that.
Yeah, quote unquote chump change.
You did chump change for them.
For them chump change.
And I was just so surprised. I mean, he stayed in the same building. He ain't had to change his zip code, area code. Nothing.
None of that.
And he went to their. It's a rivalry now.
It's not a rivalry.
It is.
That's not.
And he just crisscrossed and joined the bad guys, pretty much.
Damn all that. How do you win 2 games and then it's a rivalry?
It's always gonna be as long as LeBron's on the Lakers.
Is Louisville Kentucky a rivalry?
Yes. As long as
don't be that.
as long as LeBron's on the Lakers and the Clippers got Kawhi and Paul George, it's gonna be a rivalry because they the biggest names in the game. How they not gonna make it a rivalry? It's gonna be on TV every time they play.
Right.
It's gonna be the premier game every time they play.
Sure enough.
They're gonna talk about it on every show every time they play.
Right.
So it's a rivalry.
No,
there
it's
it
not.
goes.
A rivalry is
It's a new rivalry.
No, how the hell is it a new damn rivalry when LA can't even make it a rivalry? When the Clippers can't make it a rivalry? It's not a rivalry until the other team beats them. Last time I checked, the Clippers ain't beat the Lakers.
Bro,
in the
it's
playoffs.
only been one season. It's only been one season.
That's not my Lakers' fault.
It's not the Clippers' fault either.
Yeah, it is. Draft
No,
better.
it's not.
Get some free agents in there, and then we can talk. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
That's what y'all was saying last year when y'all was
That's-
crying about, oh man, the Clippers got all the moves. They made all the moves.
I wasn't.
man.
I stood pat with my Lakers.
Mm.
I told you, Paul George and Kawhi can't be trusted, and it turned out to be true. Y'all better listen to Houston Thomas. Y'all better listen to me, man. Speaking of your Clippers, another fresh face in a new place is your guy Serge Ibaka,
who came over from the Toronto Raptors. I guess he plans on filling that big man void
The Great
for the,
White North.
for the LA Clippers. Man, what's your thoughts on Serge playing for the Clippers?
I mean,
It's
they got to
not-
get somebody
Yeah, because
to fill in for Montrez. I mean, but
that's why it's not a rapper.
I mean, it's pretty much been a wash though.
What do you mean, as far as Trez?
As far as Trez and,
Okay,
and
okay,
Serge,
yeah.
I mean, I think Serge might be able to do a little bit more for them anyways, to be able to stretch the floor out a little bit, but
It's not gonna matter when they play the Lakers, though.
probably not. But
It's not. Wait till we put Marcus Alvin in that game. Put that weight on him.
Marc Gasol in the game.
Wait till we put
I thought
Marcus-
you was about to really bring up something. You get Marc
Wait till we
Gasol.
put Marcus on his game. Put that weight on him. Let him know what's up. But nah, like you said, Trez can stretch the floor a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, not Trez, Serge Ibaka. But it's not gonna be enough to where the Lakers really have to worry.
No, it's not going to put either one of them over the top.
Yeah,
It's not like they're getting a big advantage.
It's not like, oh, they got Serge Ibaka, man. Oh man.
I was worried when the Clippers lost Montrez.
I think everybody was.
Yeah.
I think everybody was.
But Serge Ibaka's averaging 12 points, almost 7 rebounds on the block. Montrez averaging 13.7
Yeah,
rebounds.
so like you said,
on the block.
it's
So
a wash. Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And I think Serge Ibaka's probably a little bit better on defense.
That's what I was about to allude to.
Yeah.
What about defensively? Do you
So-
think the Clippers upgraded defensively over having Trez?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, because Serge ain't like Serge is 24. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, ain't Serge injury prone? Ain't he always injured somewhere, somehow,
yeah, he's always
Yeah,
got
so
some-
Trez is gonna be there, so we're not worried about that. And then worst comes to worst, if they won't fight on the court, I'm gonna take Trez over Serge Ibaka, but that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
I don't know.
You got,
I might take Serge.
man,
You know what I'm saying?
Serge just got them arms. That's it.
I
Well,
might
you know
take
what?
Serge.
No, you know what? You right. He was from what? Congo.
Congo, he fight to the death.
Yeah, he lions.
Yeah, he don't care.
Yeah, he's out there hunting antelopes and
Mhm.
shit. Yeah, you might get that. But anyways, man, Lakers and Clippers, it seems like a lot of the moves is based off the players on their rosters. 'Cause the next guy,
So
fresh face-
before we talk about this guy,
okay,
the main thing I kept harping on, and a lot of people kept saying, the one thing the Clippers need to take them over the edge
Yes.
is a real point guard.
yes, they got one.
So I was like, I know that they gonna get my guy Rondo.
It was looking that
I
way.
know they gonna get
It
Rondo.
was looking that way. All signs pointed to that way, and then Rajon Rondo ends up
doing this. He ends up heading down south to the dirty. He goes to the Atlanta Hawks.
I was flabbergasted, discombobulated,
dumbfounded, all of it.
I feel like we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray.
All of that. But I don't know if you saw his interview on All the Smoke podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. He talked about why he chose Atlanta, and he said that it wasn't the money. He said that it's because it's later in his career he wanted to be closer to home, which is Louisville, Kentucky. So playing in Atlanta gave him the opportunity to be quote unquote closer. This is his words, not mine. This is his words, not mine. It gave him the opportunity to be closer to home. That was his. But I'm like, well, hell, why don't you just sign with the Pacers?
Yeah, why you sign with the Pacers?
Pacers is right
Be
there.
an assistant coach on Coach Calipari's staff or something. Or go up to Freedom
But
Hall.
I'm just saying, if it was really about being close to home, not that I say I'm not taking his word for it. What Indiana Pacers is what, maybe 2 hours, a 3-hour drive from Louisville, so you can get back and forth easy. But the Atlanta Hawks roster is also, they got Cam Reddish, your guy from Duke. They got Trey Trey. They got Clint Capella, so they're trying to build something there. So it looks more appealing than John Collins. Yeah, John Collins.
They signed Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot all about that. So
Rondo does know we got airplanes now, right?
I don't think he knows that yet.
I think because you can pretty much get wherever you need to go in a matter of hours.
So you saying?
Anyways,
so you saying he's bullshit? He just
Ah,
didn't go south Clippers. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, I guess you close to home, but you can hop on a bird and get wherever you need to go.
So basically, you saying he was just full of shit and he really just didn't want to sign with the Clippers.
I guess.
I don't
He
blame
could have
him.
said that. He could have said, I didn't want to sign with him.
I don't blame him though, because you got Pat Bev, Kawhi, Paul George, the new head coach Ty Lue. So who are you really depending on that team to be your quote unquote your LeBron or your KG, the players that he's played with that are all time greats? Who on that team is that guy that he can bounce stuff off of? Not saying Kawhi doesn't have a huge basketball IQ, but who is that leader outside of him? Because if Rondo, let's say for instance, Rondo's been known to be injury prone, he goes down, who is going to be the leader of that team?
Rondo can still be the leader. He might not be on the court, but he can still be the leader of the team, though.
Rondo ain't trying to do this.
Man, he's always coaching from the bench. Every time he get hurt, he always got a suit on and a cast on his hands. He always out there pointing everything around. Yeah.
Man. But yeah, but we'll get to the Atlanta Hawks a little bit later. A couple more fresh faces in new places. You got Doc Rivers up there in Philly with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry. Now he's hooping. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts is they got Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons still. So they still the same team to me. So
76 is going 76.
Yep.
But what about this news when it came through? Drew Holiday got traded from the New Orleans Pelicans up top to the Milwaukee Bucks. What does this do for Milwaukee?
So when I thought they was gonna get Drew Holiday and Bogdanovich, I was like, ooh,
oh hell yeah,
ooh, they got something going now.
At that point, his finals a bust.
Yeah, but when the Bogdanovich thing fell through, I was like, well, they upgraded the point guard, so
that was it.
Yeah,
that was it. Two more questions I want to ask you real quick before we get off the free agency and trades. Well, before we go to the trades, the surge thing you talked about that a little bit. Is that going to be enough to put them over the top for the Lakers to beat the Lakers in the playoffs?
No, because the Lakers got so much. They lost a lot of size.
Right.
I am going to say I think JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard is going to hurt them.
I think so too.
I think it's going to
hurt them more than people realize.
Yeah, I think it'll hurt them in the playoffs. But they got Wes Matthews, they got Dennis Schroeder.
Right.
I mean,
Marc Gasol.
They got Marc Gasol, they got Trez. I mean, they pretty much cleaned up free agency.
So we did. We did.
If the Lakers won anything, they won free agency.
Again, that's 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. I can't wait for my guy to become an owner because it's going to be championship after championship. Not like your guy who's the owner.
No. See, because when you go from playing, and you the best player on the court, and then you go up in the box, but you expect somebody else to be the best player on the court and to do things the way you would done on the court, and they can't do that.
Jerry West has done an excellent job of being a great GM.
Man, he's done okay.
What? He built the Lakers in the 70s and 80s. What do you mean he did? And then he got Shaq there and Kobe. He drafted Kobe Bryant.
Pat Riley did all that.
This guy heard. Pat Riley wasn't even with the Lakers in the 90s. He was with the Knicks and the Heat. So how do you do that?
What happened in the 90s with the Lakers?
They drafted Kobe Bryant and traded for Shaq.
They did two things.
But those two things set them up for what? A great run in the early 2000s. Jerry West, GM of the century.
He had to come up with somebody. Typical LeBron fan, they got to come up with kind of silver lining somewhere.
What the hell LeBron got?
Anyways, what's next on the list?
What the hell, man? So anyways, let's talk about your other favorite player,
Paul
Raymond George. I don't even know
if that's his name.
13.
After the season, he said, "I'm coming back with vengeance." People saw weakness, and I had to address that.
Man, it's not that we saw weakness, Paul George. It's just you was just horrible in the playoff bubble, man.
Correct.
That game 7 against the Denver Nuggets, you had 7 points, I believe.
Man,
it was so bad. 7 points. I think it was like 2 of 14 shooting. Hit the side of the backboard. I mean, what else can you do? But here's my thing with Paul George, man. I have no problem with regular season Paul. Regular season Paul is great to me. It's the playoff Paul that I have trouble with. People are like, oh, well, look at his numbers, man. He's averaging such and such in the playoffs, man. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But where is he at when it matters most? Where is he at when it counts? Again, I'll go to Game 7 of last year, the game where when he was with OKC and Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook had 45 points, and Paul George chipped in with a measly 5 points. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? So to combine, if I say, man, combine, they score 50 points. You think it's 25-25, not 45-5.
Yeah, but
when
Westbrook starts shooting,
he's wet.
He might not ever touch the ball though. How many shots did Paul George get? 6.
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
He got about 6 attempts, I believe.
Get it off the glass, homie. Get it off the glass, homie. You want your points? Get it off the glass, homie. Yeah. So let me see them stats real quick about Paul George.
Paul George.
So Paul George between last year and this year, let's see. Last year in the bubble, he was on 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, shooting 39% from the field,
33%
from three. That's not gonna cut it.
No,
that's not gonna cut. But this year he's cooking though. He's cooking. 24 points per game, which is right around his average. 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. 50% from three and 52% from the field. So, like I said, during the regular season, I ain't got no problem with him.
Exactly.
I compared Paul George to this guy, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is great during the regular season, puts up numbers, puts up stats. Come playoff time, Phillip Rivers drops the ball, interceptions, costly fumbles, late. Paul George just doesn't show up late. Phillip Rivers, Paul George, same damn person, minus all the kids.
So, I think that Paul George just needs like one good playoff run.
He does.
To get like mentally to get himself over the hump.
I agree. That could have happened with the Lakers.
That could happen with the Lakers. I mean, that could happen anytime.
No, he didn't want to go with the Lakers, but you know, look where he's at now.
Everybody don't want to go be on the Lakers.
Everybody doesn't want to be on the Lakers. Everybody wants to play with LeBron.
Clearly, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Kawhi didn't go play with him.
How'd that end up?
Paul George didn't go play with him.
How'd that end up?
So, I mean,
clearly
everybody doesn't want to go play with him.
How'd that turn out?
Because if they wanted to go play with him, they would have had AD, LeBron, and
Kyrie didn't want to play with him. How's that turn out for him, too?
That's different.
That ain't different.
He thinks the earth is flat and stuff like that.
All I'm saying is, you know, when you don't want to play with the GOAT, you see what happens.
Huh.
Yeah, it's either roll with us or get rolled over. That's our season. Season 18. Roll with us or get rolled over.
Yeah.
You dig? But anyways, let's talk about the headache trade. And what I mean by headache trade, Russell Westbrook in Houston for John Wall and the Washington Wizards. I think my Uncle Shannon Sharp summed it up best. He said, "I'll trade you my toothache for a migraine."
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much pointless. It's the same thing.
Same player, same guy.
Big huge contract. You're never gonna win with either one of them.
No.
You just trade one guy for another, I guess, to make somebody happy on the team.
I don't know. That trade made, I get it. Russell Westbrook didn't want to be in Houston no more, so I get it. You had to get him out of there for somebody somewhere. But you couldn't just, trade him for a bag of peanuts and, Fago Pop. You had to get some kind of compensation for him.
Because that contract was 40,
I think it was $44 million.
Yeah.
So you had to get something for him. And I guess the new GM down there wanted to get at least another name to bring back in. And it ended up being John Wall. Of course, they signed Boogie Cousins in the offseason as well. But we'll talk about their trades and the new big three down in Houston that they got going on. But anyways, man, so Westbrook and Wall, it was a wash. But one guy I want to talk about is my light-skinned brethren, Wardell Stephen Curry Jr., man. Last season, he only played 5 games, but in those 5 games, he averaged 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and like I said, he didn't play much. He was injured and was out for the rest of the season. But this year, he's on his comeback trail. He's averaging 27 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and that includes a 22-point comeback against the Clippers, and then a 14-point fourth-quarter comeback against the Lakers. And of course, he got Kelly Oubre.
He still got Andrew Wiggins.
He got Wiseman down low. He got Killer Draymond. And then, Klay Thompson is out. So, is this going to be the comeback season for Steph for him to remind people of who he is?
People need to put some respect on his name.
Hold on, before I let you cook, what does he rank all-time point guards? 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous MVP, 3 rings. Oh, you got 2. No, you got 3 rings. Yeah, you got back-to-back with KD, and then of course the one by himself.
He's ahead of Chris Paul. I know that.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah. Would you put him second behind Magic? You got, or do you drop him some more? Put Isaiah up there ahead of him?
I don't put Isaiah ahead of him.
You don't. You just sound like see, and that's because of your guy. That's where they come from.
No.
Okay.
No. Isaiah is definitely top 5 all-time point guard.
Okay, just not ahead of Steph Curry.
No, because Steph is going to end up being a top. I say he'll probably end up finishing top 20 all-time player. And I don't put Isaiah in the top. He might be number 27.
I put Isaiah over top of Steph.
Yeah.
For this simple fact, Isaiah Thomas, along with Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, John Sally, Bill Laimbeer, and the crew, knocked off your guy consistently. Beat.
But you how many names you just named though?
How many of those is Hall of Fame?
It don't matter.
It matters.
It don't matter though.
It matters.
It does not matter. You hear how many names you just named on that team?
All of those people's names that I just named. How often do you hear anybody say, "Man, that dude play like Joe Dumars"?
But when you put
that's a Bill Laimbeer right
when
there.
When you put 8 good players together, you can beat a team that's got 2 good players on it.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You can consistently beat them.
If you go like y'all say he is, he should have did.
Oh my God.
That's all I'm saying. And then he's beat Larry Bird in the Boston Celtics. He's beat Magic Johnson in the Los Angeles Lakers. So he's beat potentially, arguably, if you want to debate this, however, Larry Bird, the greatest small forward of all time.
No, he's not.
No, not me, but some people might still think he is. But okay, so he's beat a top 5 small forward of all time, the greatest point guard of all time, and he beat 2 of the most historic franchises in NBA Finals and Eastern Conference Finals, along with beating the quote-unquote greatest player of all time. How do you not rank him above Steph Curry with that achievement? Think about that. Think about it. Yeah, I'll let you.
But you got to look at Isaiah's team, though.
Yeah.
You have to look at Isaiah's team.
Okay, so I'll take the Jordan part out of the equation.
Isaiah was really, really good.
Yeah.
But Isaiah had a great team.
And
though.
he beat other great teams like the Boston Celtics.
They all had really great teams, but it's not like Isaiah was out there just cooking everybody by himself.
Okay, so what great teams did Steph Curry beat?
He had the best team. He beat LeBron.
No, when
he's the GOAT, remember?
When he had because like you said, if you have 8 players, so the
Cavs didn't have nobody on the team?
We had who?
The Cavs didn't have nobody on the team.
We had J.R. Smith.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is another LeBron argument that people always say. LeBron never got no teammates. LeBron ain't never got no teammates. LeBron consistently has either the best or the second best roster in the NBA. Since he started making it to the finals, he has always, not since he started making it to the finals, since he won his first championship.
That's not true. The back-to-back, not the back-to-back because Kyrie was still there. The last season with the Cavs, LeBron didn't have the first and second best roster in the NBA. He had Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, and LeBron. That was their big 3.
Okay.
Man, listen. Okay.
That Cavs team was still better than every other roster in the East.
No, they just had the best player on their roster.
They still had the best roster in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that's right. That's all it was.
It was only 2 good teams that year. Everybody knew that.
Toronto. And
Toronto. Come on, dog. Anyways, back to Steph Curry. So, y'all need to put some respect on this man.
Well, wait a minute. Who's the y'all? You right.
I've been hearing you talking about it. I heard you talking about it.
Yeah, you right.
Steph can't lead the team. Steph can't do this. Steph can't do that.
That's not my voice though. That's not
man. Listen, every time this man catches the ball, he got 2 defenders on him at all times.
Right.
Sometimes they got a triple team on him.
Okay.
Tell me somebody else that gets that much attention. LeBron don't get that much attention. No, LeBron does not get
I ain't
that
even
much
said
attention.
no name.
The way you looked at me.
I ain't even said no name.
The way you looked at me. Nobody else gets that much attention.
Okay. I need KD.
But the reason I say that Steph gets the most attention is because they don't think anybody else on that team can beat them.
You right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they put all their focus on Steph, and he still has to try to get buckets.
Devin Booker last season.
Okay, with Devin Booker last season. Okay, all right.
So Devin Booker, which happened to be another light-skinned guy that can shoot, but at the same time, I see your point. Steph is cool; he's alright, but I will say that he's having a great season. This will be his comeback season to let people know because, like you said, out of sight, out of mind. Dude was injured the whole season
last year,
and people are like, maybe he ain't the Steph, and But I think will the Warriors be a top 4 seed in the West?
No.
Will they probably barely make the playoffs?
They might get the 7 seed, 8 seed.
They might sneak and get the 7. Maybe if they go on a tear late in the season, get the 6.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be enough to solidify that people need to respect and let people know, hey, this light skinned dude still out here doing his thing. Like y'all,
because he's not a big dude. He's not overpowering anybody.
He's not.
So
nah. But you know what? I like Steph. I do. I just like giving people hell about Steph.
Oh, well.
That's all. But yeah, so Steph is on his way to his comeback season. And then anyways, we're talking about the NBA bubble last season. You had the Miami Heat, who shocked every damn body. Well, not you, because you had picked them in the playoffs, so I give you credit for that.
Yeah, thank you. I finally get some credit.
They shocked 99.8% of the nation and made it to the NBA Finals and played against the Los Angeles Lakers. And this season, it doesn't look like they'll be probably returning to the finals. So was the bubble Miami Heat team a fluke?
I don't think they were a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they got matchups that were good for them in the playoffs. I knew they were going to beat the Bucks.
Yeah, I think everybody. I think everybody.
I knew they were going to beat the Bucks. I thought they'd have a harder time with the Celtics than what they actually did. Because what they beat the Celtics? It was 6 games.
It was 6, 4-2.
I think that they should have had them in 5.
They should have.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
I think Jason Tatum had like a 40-point game. But anyways, go ahead.
I think that they got matchups that were good for them in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
They ran that zone defense that had everybody all
just combobulated.
Yeah.
Like
except for LeBron and AD, because LeBron's the smartest player out there.
Everybody in the East act like they ain't never seen a zone before.
Yeah, so he can figure it out.
What do we do, coach?
Yeah, it wasn't a fluke necessarily, because from when I looked at it and I looked at the stats and everything like that, I thought that they could beat the teams they were going to get matched up against, but I don't think it was a fluke. I still think they'll be a top 4 or 5 seed or something like that in the East. I mean, they're starting out slow, but I think
Tyler Hero just got injured too.
Yeah, I think as the season starts going, they'll
be all right.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the outlook as well, and we gonna talk about your other guy, man. Your other guy, he just got traded from the Houston Rockets over to the Brooklyn Nets in a trade that shocked every single body. Well, not everybody, because everybody was just expecting this to happen. But let's go through some of the people that got traded.
Jared Allen from the Brooklyn Nets got traded to the Cavs for Taurean Prince. He got traded to the Cavs along with Taurean Prince. And then there was also Karis LeVert, who got traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the Indiana Pacers, along with a second-round pick as well. And then you have also Victor Oladipo, who went down to the Rockets, along with Dante Exum. Who is that? I don't know who that is.
Don't matter.
Don't matter. But they got 4 first-round picks via Brooklyn and Milwaukee, and 4 first-round pick swaps via Brooklyn.
Jeez.
So again, Brooklyn, just like when they made the KG trade, they gave away all their stock, all their draft picks. To keep everybody up to speed, here's the full details of it. Brooklyn got James Harden, of course, and then the Pacers got Karis LeVert in the second round. The Cavs got Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, and the Rockets got Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum.
And every pick the Nets are going to have for the next 16 years.
And then, like I said, it gave the Houston Rockets a new big 3 down south. You got John Wall, you got Victor Oladipo, and then you got, Boogie Cousins, man in the paint in the middle.
So, it's a lot to unpack here with this trade, man.
There's no point in us talking about Houston.
For what?
Yeah, there's no point talking
about
that.
There's no point in talking about the other 3 teams in the trade, although I do want to talk about the Cavs a little bit. Okay. But, man, so what's your thoughts on this James Harden trade with the Nets?
As Charles Barkley said, he went from the Splash Brothers to the Dribble Brothers. Kyrie's a good player.
I wouldn't even say he's great.
He's great.
Good player, great talent. How about that?
Okay, that'll work for me. That sounds better. I just don't like him with KD and James Harden. If it was Rondo, KD, and James Harden,
that's fine.
Then they working with something.
That's finals.
But when you got KD, who's a sniper, you got James Harden, who people keep saying is gonna go down as the greatest scorer of all time.
Don't do this.
And then you got Kyrie, who thinks he's the greatest scorer of all time. There's not enough shots to go around.
Sacrifice. Somebody's got to sacrifice.
Kyrie's not gonna do it. KD sacrificed some when he was out in Golden State, so I don't know if he can try to bring some of that and talk to Kyrie and say, look, you know, if we can all do our part and do this, this, and this, then we might have a chance to be like that like I was out in Golden State, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But just from looking at the box score from the last since James Harden been there and Kyrie started playing again,
which has been this week, 3 games, two Cavs, and then the last night against Miami.
so I what 3 games?
3 games.
And
So
Kyrie's
1 and
taking
2.
about 99 shots
Man,
in
listen.
3 games,
Man, listen.
and they lost.
Yeah, 2. They lost to the Cavs back to back, and then they just beat Miami.
And they barely beat Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I take that back. They've only played 2 games fully healthy because the second game.
KD set out the second
Cavs.
Cavs.
Yeah. So KD set out the second game, so they won and won actually. Man, I don't know, bruh. I'm flabbergasted about this trade. Not to the fact that the trade happened, but just how is it gonna work? And everybody's like, oh, it'll work because of it. And it's like, man, this is what we've got to stop doing, people. We've got to stop just looking at names and saying, oh, this gonna work because they got Kyrie, and it's like it's chemistry that goes into it. Coaching for damn sure goes into it, and I'm gonna get to that a little bit later on.
Yeah, we definitely got to say something about that.
And then also fit. Do their games fit. KD worked so great in Golden State because his game just worked perfect with Clay and James. Not James.
So much
Steph.
movement off the ball and just
Everybody's touching the ball, has energy. Like I'm pretty sure you'll know. Coaches always say the ball will find you.
Oh yeah.
The ball will find you.
Not when you got somebody dribbling the cup off the ball though, they gonna find you.
But bro, the ball's not gonna find you when I got a guy dribbling for 20 seconds and then he passes it and the ball finds you. That's not how that works.
So hold on real quick. So when you were talking about dribbling, it made me think. I remember one of our very first Beyond the Game shows. We were talking about the Cavs with Kyrie and LeBron and all them. And I remember talking about a stat where Kyrie had dribbled the ball more than the entire Warriors starting five. And it doesn't work.
Like you said, to me, I take KD out the equation because KD gonna do what KD do. Right. Like he can take 15 shots and get you 35. So I'm not worried about KD. It's the other 2 that I'm worried about. And when I say worried about, this is how I view it. Okay. Kyrie's a natural born scorer. He's like in the Kobe mode where they might not always shoot the best, but they just gonna keep shooting. James Harden is a scorer as well, but I think he's a little bit more efficient of a scorer than Kyrie is. But he's also 10 times the point guard Kyrie is. So by default, he's gonna be the point guard. So you can't be the scorer and the point guard. So he's gonna have to sacrifice the most to me. But this is my problem: is that okay? You say, James Harden, you're the PG. We need you to facilitate, get the offense going. Kyrie's a scorer. KD, you do what you do. So what do you do on those nights when Kyrie doesn't have it going? And then you turn to James Harden and you say, okay, James, we need you to get it going. He doesn't have a scoring rhythm now, so you expecting him to just turn it on and start scoring. So what about those nights?
Boy.
Yeah, that's why I say it's a lot to it, and people just realize that, oh man, they'll make it work. Like it's gonna be nights where, what if James Harden sees Kyrie is struggling, but sees Kyrie is not going to take a back seat? He's just going to keep jacking that thing up.
He's never going to take a back seat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the maturity of Kyrie needs to go into effect to where if he knows he doesn't have it going, hey, look, y'all, I ain't got it going. Y'all do this thing tonight. I'm going to just try to play D and get everybody else going. Do I see Kyrie being that type of player? No. Can KD do that? Yeah. Can James Harden do that? Yeah. Can Kyrie? Kyrie's like, nah, bro. Shooters going to shoot.
Yeah. I'm going to keep shooting that thing.
So that's my own. Will the Nets be okay?
No.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, they're gonna be.
They'll be okay. Yeah, I don't want everybody to jump at the burning building, but I think the Nets will be okay. They suck defensively.
Yes, they do.
Outside of DeAndre Jordan, they have no other big men. They had Jeff Green playing the damn 5 against the Cavs. That's not gonna cut it. That's not, and that's where,
especially when they got Andre Drummond and Jared Allen and
you got Drummond, and that's where I wanted to hit on the Cavs. The Cavs have Kevin Love, Jared Allen, Andre Drummond. You got a plethora of big men at the Cavs, but the Brooklyn Nets have no more trade assets to try to make a trade happen to get one of those big men. Oh, and they also have JaVale McGee on the Cavs as well. So the Cavs get every big man in the NBA, but the Nets need one. and they should have made a trade for one of those big men, but they got none in return. So now DeAndre Jordan, who's 34, he ain't the LA Clippers DeAndre Jordan no more.
No, it's not. He's not that guy.
So like, it's gonna be a long season for the Nets, but will they be okay? Yeah, they'll be fine. But Lord Almighty, you're expecting KD to be the leader. That's the problem. Because I seen this in the Cavs game, the first one. Last 2 minutes of the ball game, it was nip and tuck. This is when a Doc Rivers, Ty Lue, this is when these coaches make their money. Mm-hmm. They look over to Steve Nash. Steve Nash like,
Steve Nash like, hey, what?
What you want me to do, bro? And then next to Steve Nash is Mike D'Antoni. He's like, well, shit, what you want?
Shoot the ball.
And then next to him is Amari Stoudemire. So it's like,
shoot it.
Yeah, bro. So the coaching staff, man, it's gonna be rough for them, but I think they'll be okay.
But Kyrie said they got coaches on the court, plenty of coaches though. Remember?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's gonna work out.
That's gonna work out real good when you're playing a team like Clippers, 76ers, Lakers, one of these upper echelon teams, and it's down by 2 with 45 seconds left, and Kyrie tells KD and James Harden, "Let's run the play for me." Yeah, exactly. since we got coaches on the court, let's run this play right here. Okay. All right, bro. All right. To me, I know everybody thinks Kyrie is clutch because he hit that one shot in the finals, but I'm going to put my money on KD or James Harden to take that shot before I do Kyrie.
Yeah, I'd rather see one of them take it than him.
Than Kyrie. But anyways, man. But like we said, the Nets will be fine. They'll still be a top seed, if not the top 2 seed in the East, but they still got a lot of work to do. They still have 3 roster spots available. That's the good news. They can get somebody when the buyout season comes, because close to the playoffs, a lot of teams is gonna start letting players go, buy them out. That's when I think they'll get their roster depth. But
well, another thing, when Colin Sexton comes in your locker room,
Lord have mercy,
and taps Kyrie and says, "Yo, you better lace him up. It's gonna be a long night," and then he comes out and drops 40 on you.
42.
42.
His career high.
Colin Sexton, ladies and gentlemen.
42. Bowdy shouted. And you let Colin Sexton. Not only that, man. The Cavs, and I've seen this, were the worst offensively ranked team in the NBA. The worst.
And they back-to-back games they put
the worst.
The
worst. And also, man, I could go on Brooklyn all day, bro. Because you got the minutes thing, and it's like you don't have no bench depth for real. So how many minutes are you gonna play KD, Harden, and Kyrie? Kyrie's been known to be injury prone. KD's never really had no significant injury outside of last season. James Harden as well, but you keep playing these guys significant amount of minutes throughout the season, it's gonna take its toll on them. So it's man, they gotta get that fixed quick, man.
And they gave Joe Harris 4 years, $72 million for him to stand out there. I'm open.
But the thing is, he went from getting 12 to 15 shots last season to potentially 6 to 8. And as you know, as a shooter, it's hard to get that rhythm. Like you touch the ball one possession, you might not touch it again, and shit held into the second quarter.
And he's one of those continuous motion three-point shooters. And now he's out there just standing around, watching.
And it's going to be hard. And see, that's the thing. Joe Harris is probably going to get a lot of flack too, because they're going to kick it to him a lot of the times in the corner, and he's going to miss a shot. And it's like, oh my god! And it's like, bro, he's cold. Like he ain't took a shot in 5 minutes.
We paid you $72 million to miss threes.
What do you expect? But anyways, man. Let's continue on to the season outlook as I pull up these NBA standings as of today. This is the Western Conference standings right here.
As you can see, it's a tie on top between the Lakers and the Clippers. Watch your mouth, Keezy. They're both sitting at 12 and 4. Then you got Utah doing what they do at 11 and 4. Phoenix right behind them at 8 and 6. Then you got Portland at 8 and 6, and then you got the Memphis Grizzlies at 7 and 6. The Dallas Mavericks at 7 with 8 and 7, and then you got the Denver Nuggets sitting in the 8th spot at 8 and 7, and then Warriors right behind them at 8 and 7, and I'm gonna cap it off right there because Spurs, Rockets, Kings.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else.
But look at the Pelicans at 5 and 9, man. Based on last season, everybody had high hopes for them going into the season.
But I mean, here they sit at the 13th seed at this point at 5 and 9. But
which I don't expect them to improve too much. So
that's what you said.
The Kings are who they are.
That's why I said then the Rockets, the new big three. So
the Spurs are just
the Spurs,
a team full of guys just put together.
A team full of guys. That's exactly what they are. A team full of guys. So, Keys, what's your outlook for the Western Conference?
I mean, the Lakers and the Clippers, probably
Yeah, it shows.
above everybody else. The Jazz are really playing well, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
The Jazz are really playing well. I watched them a couple times. They look pretty good out there. But
The Jazz always baffles me because it's always they're always just good enough.
just good enough, yeah.
But
they don't scare you.
Yeah, they don't scare you, but they're just good enough. You know what I'm saying? And then of course CP3 has the Phoenix Suns at the 4th spot with 8 and 6. I think right now what you're looking at the top 9 is probably how
That's
it's
probably how. Yeah,
that's probably how it's gonna shake out. But who's coming out though?
Well, Portland, CJ McCollum's injured, so they're gonna.
Yeah, he's out a month
I think
with
they'll
the
go on some games. They'll lose.
Okay.
They'll lose some.
So they drop.
Memphis will be in there. Dallas will definitely be in there. Denver will be there. They're too good not to be.
But that just surprises me. They're 8 in the 8th spot as of right now with 8 and 7. And I know it's very, very early in the season. I get that.
Yeah.
But you also want to come out the gates strong so you can start quote unquote load management some of your players throughout the season, which is what the Lakers or Clippers are trying to do.
Yeah.
Well, the Lakers, because Ty Lue said, "No, we ain't doing that load management shit this year.
We ain't doing
we ain't doing that
You
shit
gonna
this
play
year.
back to back.
If you healthy, you gonna play Kawhi.
You don't have to play all of them. You gonna play some of these.
You gonna play
back-to-backs.
some of these. But yeah, I'm right there.
And Kawhi was like, I'm cool with that.
You better be.
Yeah.
You better be.
You don't have to be there.
Because we did it your way last year, and we seen how that ended up. So yeah, we both say the same thing. Lakers and Clippers at the top, but over the East it gets a little bit trickier. You have the 76ers at the top at 11 and 5, followed by the Pacers at 9 and 6, which is very shocking. And then you have the Milwaukee Bucks right there with them at 9 and 6. The 4th seed, you have the Boston Celtics at 8 and 6, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 5 spot at 8 and 7, the Atlanta Hawks at 8 and 7, your Brooklyn Nets at 9 and 8, and the damn New York Knicks at the 8th spot.
Top defensive team in the league.
At 8 and 9 in the 8th spot, and then the 9th seed you have the Chicago Bulls. At
Somebody
7 and 8.
please come and get Zach LaVine out of Chicago.
Boy, please hurry up. And then also to be noted is that the Miami Heat are at the 11th spot in the East. But I agree right there with you, man. Somebody needs to make a trade package and get Zach, because he is wasting a lot of good years in Chicago, man.
Yeah.
And you put him in a different market, and he's a killer.
Oh yeah.
But in Chicago, I mean, even though my guy Kobe White is there, shout out to Kobe White. But other than that, I mean,
Kobe White.
that's my point. That's my point.
They got a whole bunch of ACC guys on that team with that garbage.
Yeah, because you got Laurie Market. No, he's from Arizona.
He's from Arizona. Same shit.
Same shit. Yeah. But
They got a couple Dookies on there. Who else they got? They got a big man from Duke on the Bulls.
Wendell Carter.
Wendell Carter.
Yeah, Wendell Carter.
He's a bust.
Yeah. I had high hopes for him too, man.
Pretty much everybody come from Duke is just out here,
stealing money.
Yep, basically. Everybody's getting paid.
Stealing money. But man, what's your outlook on this Eastern Conference?
I mean, I think Philly will stay toward the top. I mean, I don't know if they'll end up being the number 1 seed, which they jumped out to a good lead on everybody else. So they may end up being the number 1 seed out of the East. The Bucks will be there. Boston will be there. Brooklyn will be there. I think the Hawks are going to stay in that 5 or 6 range probably.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised at the Cavs though, even though it's 8 and 7.
Yeah, it's 8 and 7.
But,
so they 500 like they always are.
Yeah.
Always are. So it'll just be those teams that actually get it going and move themselves up above that 500 level. Because 500 in the East,
that'll get you a 4 seed.
Yeah.
It'll get you a 4 seed. I believe Doc is going to keep that number 1 seed in the East.
Mm-hmm. Joel Embiid's playing real well.
Yeah. And Ben Simmons has attempted 2 threes. He hit 1, but he's attempted 2 threes. So we are.
You see the other one he shot?
We're not talking about that. We are on the right track with Ben Simmons. We at least gotten him shooting threes. We on the right track. Yeah, baby.
That's because everybody in the gym and on both teams yelled, "Shoot it!" And he just let it go. And the shot clock was running down.
Yeah, so he had to shoot it.
Yeah, he had to shoot it.
But man, looking at these standings right now, I don't expect the Pacers to stay in the 2nd seed.
No.
I see Milwaukee shootings up there. Boston going to the 3. The 2 and 3 to be between Miami and Boston. I see Brooklyn shooting all the way up to 4. Now, will they be able to do 2 or 3? I don't see them overtaking Milwaukee or Boston at this point, but I see them getting a 4 seed, 3 seed at the best.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee will probably be that 2 seed, and Brooklyn will probably be the 3 seed.
Yeah, that's what I said.
When it all comes down to it, they'll probably be the 3 seed.
And only because I feel like they're all 1-9 games, so a game here, game there, you can shoot up in the standings. But I just think Brooklyn has a lot to figure out on the court first, versus Milwaukee and Boston already have their rotation. They got their coaching, they got the play, everybody. So everything's already said. It's just a matter of everybody clicking at the same time. So yeah, I think, but Brooklyn Nets, man.
Orlando is gonna be Orlando.
Free Aaron Gordon.
I think the Knicks
Free
will
Zach
probably
LaVine.
end up being the Knicks.
Oh yeah, hell no, man, no, ain't worried about that. And then man, let's see. And then like I said, rounding it out, you have the Toronto Raptors in the 12th seed, and then your guys' team, the Charlotte Hornets are the 13 seeds. I mean, it's the East is the East, and that's why my guy can't wait. So, outlook for the season. Who would you say? And this is probably gonna change. Who's coming out the West?
The Lakers.
Music to my ears. Music to my ears. So we got the Lakers. I mean, you got to ask me.
Yeah,
You ain't got to
already know.
It's
Even if the Lakers right now was number 13 seed in the West, you say Lakers in 4.
Is there anything else? Is there anything
It's
else?
gonna end up being the Lakers.
Okay, there we
and
go.
the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals, I think.
Who would know?
It's a good question. Yes,
Because I think
it's to be
everybody,
determined.
I think everybody has them on a collision course towards each other. You know what I'm saying?
I think if everybody stays healthy and like that, I think just the talent alone is probably enough for them to overcome the East.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they can beat the Lakers. But we'll see though.
I have that as well, but I would not be surprised, and I'm probably gonna hate myself for saying this, if it was Lakers versus 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because in the playoffs, of course, it's about matchups, but also about coaching. Who is the better coach between Doc and Steve Nash?
Oh, clearly it's Doc Rivers.
So
but hold up though.
What
I remember last year.
Well, he got out coached.
Doc Rivers. He was in Orlando. He blew a lead, and he was here.
You learn from your mistakes.
And he was here.
You learn from your mistakes.
He blew a lead, and he blew a lead. You had Doc Rivers as the worst coach of all time, even though he won a title. But now he's back. Hey, who's the better coach? Doc Rivers. He blew, he's down 4, he's up 4-1. You know what I'm saying? He's up 3-1. He lost. He's up 3-1 and he lost. He was up 3-1 and he lost.
Who's his
But
voice,
now,
though?
but now he's who's the better coach?
Yeah. Who's the better coach between those two? It ain't like I said Doc Rivers and Phil Jackson. You know what I'm saying? It's Doc Rivers and Steve Nash. Who would you trust more to game plan against?
Now, if Steve Nash was coaching Tate's Creek, I'd be like, man, Steve Nash is nice. He's got them boys on the road.
Yeah.
But, when you go from coaching your kids' soccer league to come coaching the Brooklyn Nets, it's a big jump.
Not even that. When you come to coaching James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and KD. KD is not going to be the problem. Actually, KD, you have to be the leader. And this is why I say he has to be the leader, because he is the link between the two.
Yes.
He's real close with Kyrie. That's his partner. He's real close to James Harden. But I don't think Harden and Kyrie have a relationship like that. It's just strictly basketball. So KD has to figure out how can I get that relationship to work out, and they trust each other on the court like I trust them on the court. So, KD, you got a hell of a task on your hand, my guy.
Good luck to you.
Yeah,
I would say you'd probably make your hair fall out, but it's already gone anyway.
Falling out. KD MVP. He's gonna win comeback player of the year.
But that's a given.
Yeah, he's gonna win that.
He might win the MVP. If they win the East, he'd probably win the MVP.
You know what? I think coming into the season, I was skeptical. I was like, I didn't think he was gonna hit the ground running like he did. I thought he was gonna take till January to
when COVID hit and they had to take that time off and he got that extra time to recover. Yeah, he was ready.
So I would say I would not be surprised unless a player like Steph Curry starts averaging 35 6 and 7.
It leads the Warriors to the 2 seed or the 3 seed or something like that in the West.
But yeah, barring anything crazy like that, I think KD has the MVP wrapped up.
Man, it's early to say that.
It's early to say it, but right now he's killing right now. Even though the Nets are the 7th seed, but so much for killing. But I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to the GOAT.
Michael Jordan cannot come back and win the MVP, bro. He's not playing anymore. How can Michael Jordan win the MVP if he's not even playing anymore?
I would not be surprised if they didn't give it to LeBron, Raymond, James.
You talking about LeBron? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
The real GOAT.
I don't know why you keep
The GOAT.
I don't know why you keep using that GOAT phrase whenever you say LeBron's name. It doesn't have anything to do with it.
That's cheap. But anyways, we get ready to get on up out of here. But before we do get out of here, I just wanted to let you know that the Tampa Bay Bucks are winning 14-7 at this point.
14-7.
14-7
Okay.
at this time. He's a Green Bay Packers fan, and I'm a Tampa Bay fan.
No, I'm no longer a Green Bay Packers fan. I have changed my allegiance to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. I forgot all about that shit.
Yeah, because I'm just mad about how the Packers be running things. I just don't like it.
You just don't like it?
Yeah, I just don't like it.
You feel like it? I love it.
I know you do.
I like it.
Tampa Bay will not win the Super Bowl, though. I know that's what he wants. But
You know I'm on a roll. My Lakers won the championship. We got Tom Brady to go along with, the rest of the weapons that everybody already knows about, Gronk and Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, Mike Evans, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Every running back in the league. Yeah.
Leonard Fournette, so we're good. So I wouldn't be surprised if I go 2 for 2. And then you know what's next.
What? Oh,
Then you know what's next.
No, they ain't got a chance.
And then you know what's next.
Every Duke, UK, North Carolina fan, this ain't our year, bro. We need to just step out of the way, let somebody else have their time, and we'll see y'all next year.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah, we'll see y'all. Yeah. Ain't it.
Shout out to the mid majors. Hey, if there was ever a time for y'all to do y'all thing, this is it.
Mark Few, you might finally get you one out there, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Come March Madness. If they have March Madness, I don't know what they're gonna do. But anyway, we appreciate everybody who tuned into this show. If you could, please share it amongst your friends, family members, or whatever the case may be.
It ain't hard. You know what I'm saying?
It takes 5 seconds to hit share. That's it. 5 seconds to hit share. As my dude Hot Dog would say, y'all can share all them dumbass memes and everything. You can share this show. But Keys, you got something to say before we get out of here?
Ain't been sharing Bernie Sanders a whole hell of a lot.
I mean, Bernie Sanders has been everywhere. Matter of fact, I might put him in the show too.
If we put him,
we might get some shares.
Yeah,
we get some shares. We do that shit. Yeah, we do that. But you want to say something to the people when we get out of here?
Oh, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. Never ever. Y'all remember that. You got anything you want to say?
We're gonna get on up out of here.
Yeah, we are.
We want you to treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mother. And we out of here.